You're welcome to financial accounting class. Today, I'm going to be looking at the subsidiary books. The first subsidiary book I'm going to be talking about is called Purchases Journal. Purchases Journal is a book. It's not an account. It's a book where transactions or where goods bought on credit are recorded. Purchases Journal is not an account that has debit and what? Credit. But Purchases Journal is a book that records all goods bought on credit. On credit simply means you are buying and you are expected to bring money later. So Purchases Journal is like a diary where one records what he buys on credit, what he buys today to pay later. That is what this book is all about. Purchases Journal, also known as Bought Journal. Another name for Purchases Journal is called Bought Journal. Another name again, we can also call it Bought Journal, Purchases Journal. All these are all the name we'll give to it. But you need to understand here that when you are buying, the person buying is the buyer. The person you are buying from is the seller. This person that is the buyer is a debtor. This person that is the seller is a creditor. In a simple language, this one is giving out, while this one is receiving. So the double entry here for Purchases Journal is that the purchases account must be debited. Purchases account must be debited. And while the debtors account involved, which is the buyer, must be credited. This is the double entry because the person buying is receiving. And everything is receiving are all purchases. Remember, purchases account is made up of three types. Goods bought on credit is also purchases. Goods bought for cash is also purchases. The one bought on by check is also purchases. So as you are buying, purchases account is increasing and receiver must be debited. So the double entry for Purchases Journal is that purchases account must be debited. Why the person that we're buying the thing from, the person we're buying the thing from is a creditor. Why the creditor's account must be what? Credited. Remember, purchases account belongs to the buyer. And the buyer is getting all these things. And as he's buying from somebody called the seller, which is also the creditor. So the seller or the creditor is giving out. So the giver must be credited. While purchases account that belongs to the debtor must be debited when it comes to goods bought on credit. Remember, it's a book. This is how the format looks like. This is Purchases Journal. Remember, it's not an account. It has a date, it has particular, it has folio, it has details, it has total. There's a format, how a very specimen for that. This is our date, this is a particular, some may say name and particulars, whichever one. Here is folio, reference purposes, here is the details, here is the total. That means if this account belongs to John, John is the buyer. John Purchases Journal is the buyer. For instance, it could be like this. January 1. You could have January 1 bought on credit from David. That means John is the owner of this account. He's the one buying from David. John is the buyer. David is a seller. If you are to record this transaction, maybe what they actually bought at that particular time could be that means John on January 1 bought on credit from David. What are the things he bought? Maybe two books at 2 naira, okay, let's say 20 naira each. Another one could be 3 pence at 10 naira each. Maybe there is a trade discount because this credit transaction, trade discount maybe of 10%. Remember, January 1, John, the owner of this account, bought on credit from David. All we need to do, what John would do in this place for his account, is to write date. January 1. From who? David. What are the things that were bought? Very simple. He copied 2 books at 20 naira each. He multiplies 20 times this, that will be 40. 40 naira, no kobo. He records the second one, 3 pence. 3 pence at 10 naira each. That's why it's a diary. When goods are bought on credit, it is recorded. You then have 30, no kobo. Remember, in this transaction, there was discount. So, this is 70 naira. And you now say less 10% trade discount. 10% of that will be 7 naira. And you have to now subtract and put the value on this side, which is 63 naira, no kobo. That means if there's other dates that occur, this particular transaction is closed. If there is January 24, we'll do the same thing. And we add everything together. The total here will be added together. And that will give us exactly the total goods that was bought on credit. For now, let's assume these are all the goods that was bought. Here will be 63 naira. Here will be the total purchases, the total goods that was purchased for this account, which will be debited. And on the same line on your book, here, let's say here it becomes the end of the month where we balance the account. This 63 naira shows the total goods that was bought by John from David. John is buying. John's account will be debited, which is the Poesis account. David, we bought the goods from David. David is giving out. David's account will be what? Credited. If I want to post this to a ledger without wasting much of my time, here I will write David's account. This is T form, debit and credit. We bought from David. That means David is giving out. And the giver must be credited. I write here, January 1. I write purchases because it's from Poesis journal. And I'll write 63 naira. I will close the account like this. After this, David, the next thing is for me to prepare purchases account. Purchases account, which is this value and is receiving. We have to debit. That is January 31. I'll write sundries, various purchases, instead of writing a debit. But because if the transaction is more than one, we'll write sundries. But for now, I just want to write sundries to show it's more. 63 naira, no kobo. I will close the account like this. From what I told you before, the double entry is that Poesis account, which belongs to the buyer, which belongs to John, will be debited. And while the person we're buying it from, which is David, a seller, will be credited. So the double entry requirement for goods bought on credit is that you should debit Poesis account and credit creditor's account. That is the double entry requirement for Purchases Journal, which is an example of subsidiary books. This is how to prepare Poesis Journal, a book where transactions bought on credit are recorded. Like I told us that Purchases Journal is a book, not an account. And that Purchases account is made up of 3 types of transactions. Poesis account could be goods bought on credit. Purchases account could be goods bought for cash. Purchases account could be goods bought by check. All of them are in purchases account. But for this one, this is purchases account, which is on credit. So this is credit purchases that you are seeing on this form. That's how to prepare purchases journal. Based on what you can see on the board, you will agree with me that purchases journal is a book, not an account. It doesn't have debit and credit like other transactions. And if one wants to extract a trial balance, I can take my time and say, this is trial balance as at whichever date there. We will go like this, go this way. Folio may not be necessary, but let's still put it. Here is still our names of our accounts. Here is folio, here is debit, and here is credit. Debit, which represent creditor, will be credited. And the purchases, which is expenses, will be debited as well. And we'll close the accounts. By the time we record all of them like that, the two sides will do what? Agree. The two sides will agree. And we'll close the account in this way. And remember, it's still a trial balance that belongs to John. This is how purchases journal in financial accounting will be prepared. If you have questions, you can put it in the comment section. Financial accounting and other cost accounting. If you have questions, you have you want an assistant in all this, let me know. Put it in the comment section there, or call me on 080 333 51748. I take it again. Call or WhatsApp me on 080 333 51748. God bless you. That's all we can take for this. Until we come back again. Bye for now. Hello, beautiful people. Today's class is about to start. My name is Author Saint Vinn. Today on finance, we want to calculate the duration of investment. Still on mathematics of finance. The question reads, suppose you invest 3,000 naira today. That today is the present value of money. And you triple it, that is multiplying by 3. 3 times 3,000, that will be 9,000. After X years, the number of years was not mentioned. We're looking for it. If the annual growth rate is 10%, that means interest is 10%. But the number of years, the duration of the investment wasn't given. And we're expected to find the duration of the investment. Without wasting much of our time, recalling our formula, future value of money is equal to the present value of money into 1 plus r, or raised to the power of n. In a simple language, I'm looking for the value of n. Future value of money is multiplying this 3,000 by 3, tripling it. That will be 9,000. Present value of money is 3,000 into 1 plus r. Our r is 10%, which is 0.1. But the value of n, which is x, wasn't given. So in place of n, now n is what? X. And that x represents the number of years or the duration of investment. All we need to do here is a kind of changing subject to formula. The coefficient of 1.1 raised to power x is 3,000. Divide both sides by 3,000. We'll have something like this, 3,000, all equivalent to 1.1, all raised to power x. From all indication, this will be 3 equal to 1.1 raised to power x. From what we can see, our simple knowledge of indices, the base here are not the same. And for us to find the value of x, we need to apply logarithm. We can use any of the logarithms, it will work. whether natural logarithm or ordinary logarithm. I will use the other one. If you look at the question on the board, very clear. So I'm moving on to the other parts. I'm moving to this part. Applying ln, which is the natural log, to both sides of the equation is going to be ln 3 natural log of 1.1 raised to power x. Ln 3 equal to x ln 1.1. So ln 3 natural log of 3 all over natural log of 1.1 is equal to x. Pressing the calculator without wasting much of our time. Pressing the calculator, looking for natural log of 3 all over natural log of 1.1, and that will give us the exact value. It will give us the number of years as far as the question is concerned. Using my calculator here, trying to run it, I will have a natural log, which is, if you check your calculator, you see ln. Like I said, you can use natural log. You can equally use ordinary log. So I'll press in my calculator ln 3. Ln 3. I'll get 1 point. The numerator ln 3 will give me 1.0. Or let me just go straight, not to waste our time. Let's just press the calculator straight away by saying, without taking our time, we'll just press ln bracket 3. Then I close the brackets and I say divide by ln 1.1. I close the bracket and I get the result. The result exactly will give me 11.5267 equal to x. Approximately, it will be 12. So the number of years is what? 12 years. And that is how to find the value of n when it comes to duration of investment. If you can still recollect in the past about this mathematics of finance, I treated future value of money, compounding annually, future value of money, compounding daily, weekly, quarterly, and so on. We also treated future value of money, compounding continuously. We treated how to calculate interest, rate of interest, R. And here we just concluded duration of investment. The next class we'll be talking about present value, yearly, present value, quarterly, present value continuously. Until we meet again, you can refer to the other lectures and go through. The idea is still the same. If you have a question, you can ask. I'll be able to give you the right answer to this kind of problem. So look at this, and there is it. And on that note, that's all Author Saint Vinn will take for today. If you have a question, you can ask, put it in the comment section there. You can share. You can send us questions for whatsoever need academically that concerns you. On that note, God bless you until we meet in the next class. Bye. Hello, beautiful people. Greetings from the author of Mathematics, Accounting, and Finance. This is a Teach Yourself Junior Mathematics. Teach Yourself Junior Mathematics. I'll take a topic from this book. It's called Standard Form. This is GSS 1 for GSS 1, GSS 2, GSS 3. Standard Form is in this topic. In this other one, Teach Yourself Mathematics for senior class SS1 to tertiary institution. There's also Standard Form here. Standard Form is also here. So I'm going to treat Standard Form. If you need copies of the book, let me know. God bless you. Let's start. Standard Form. This is Standard Form. If you use calculator often or regularly, when you punch some calculation, the calculator in most cases may reveal the answer turned into Standard Form. Your knowledge of how to write in Standard Form and how to write in ordinary form is important, whether for junior WAEC examination or senior WAEC examination, or even undergraduate exams and postgraduate exams, because there are times you need to express certain things in Standard Form, or when it's expressed in Standard Form, you need to take it back to ordinary form. So you must understand how to write in Standard Form and how to write in ordinary form and how to apply Standard Form. To start with, Standard Form is always written in this form: b times 10 raised to power n. Look at it very well. B multiplied by 10 raised to power n. In a simple language, there is a number here, and this 10 is a constant that is associated with Standard Form. And this 10 has a power, which is n. Explain it carefully. B represents numbers. Numbers from one whole number to 9.9. In a simple language, this B is not up to 10. The B is not less than 1. The B must be within this range, 1 to 9.9. If the B is up to 10, it's not in Standard Form. If it's less than 1, it's not in Standard Form. While n, that n you are seeing on top of 10, the power, 10 raised to power n, the n could be positive or what? Negative. So n is any integer, and this integer can be positive or what? Negative. Positive or negative. That is the idea there. 10 is always constant when it comes to Standard Form. So when you see this, if I'm asked to write in Standard Form, look at the board. Examination question can say, write in Standard Form. That means all these questions are in ordinary form. A, I have 2400. B, I have maybe 0.00105. Maybe D or C, I have 340, like that. These three questions, 1, 2, 3, are always ordinary form, and you are expected to write them in Standard Form. Remember, the power of 10 is n. That n can be positive or negative. Or the big question is that in examination, there are two types of numbers they can give you here for Standard Form. Numbers greater than 1 or numbers less than 1. If the numbers are greater than 1, it means the power of 10 will be positive. If the numbers are less than 1, the power of 10 will be negative. For instance, 2,400 is greater than 1. This one, anything 0 point, is less than 1. This one is also greater than 1. So to write these numbers now, question 1A, 2400. I'll write 2.4 times 10. I cannot write 24 because the position of B here is that B must not be up to 10. If I write 24, I'm violating that rule. So I must put my point in between the very first number and second. So it will be 2.4 times 10. I will now count 1, 2, 3. I must stop at that place and put point. And how many times have I counted? 3 times. Remember that 2,400 is greater than 1. So the power of 10 must be positive. 1b, we have 0.00105. This number, anything 0 point, is less than 1. Because it's less than 1, the power of 10 will be positive. If you look at these zeros in front, they are not significant. The significance starts from 105. So you put your point in between the first number and second. So it's going to give us 1.05. You either count these zeros before 1. 1, 2, 3. And write times 10 raised to power minus 3. Or you shift this point 1, 2, until you get to where you put the point. That is 3. Because this number is less than 1, that's why the power of 10 is negative. Finally, 1c, we have 340. This number is greater than 1. It must be 3.4 times what? 10. You count 1, 2. And this number is positive. This is how to write in standard form. Writing in standard form entails you understanding which number is greater than 1 and which number is less than 1. The one greater than 1, the power of 10 will be positive. The one less than 1, the power of 10 will be what? Negative. Let's look at number 2 example. Question number 2. The question says, write in ordinary form. That means all these numbers are in standard form. Without wasting much of our time, A, I have 2 times 10 raised to the power of 3. B, I have 2.14 times 10 raised to the power of minus 2. Maybe C, 3.57 times 10 raised to the power minus 3. To solve this question, which means these questions are all in standard form, I want to write them in ordinary form. Solving this, 2a, we have 2 times 10 raised to the power of 3. We're all aware 10 raised to the power 3 means 10, 10, 10, 10, 3 times. Or simple language, because the power is 3, write 3 zeros like this. That's all. And you multiply and you get your result. 2b, you have 2.14 times 10 raised to the power of minus 2. Applying the laws of indices, this is inverse, 10 squared. This is 2.14 all over 10 squared. You write 2 zeros, that's 100. Expressing this, the 2 zeros here, you can see is 2. Take the whole 2 here. This point, take it off and put it here. And what is on top when I remove the point is 214. So it will be 214, and that is the answer to that question. Once 2c is 3.57 times 10 raised to the power minus 3. The same process. This one is inverse, 10 raised to the power 3. This is 3.57. This is 10 raised to the power 3. Just 3 zeros, 1 and 3 zeros. And you divide. Take out the whole 3 zeros. It will be like this. The number here, points, put it here. And what is on the numerator is now 357. Put it in front. That's how to divide without wasting time. You can press your calculator. You will still get the same results. Without wasting much of our time, the question 1 told us to write in standard form. All the questions are all in ordinary form. And I wrote in standard form. Question 2 says write in ordinary form. All the 3 questions are all in standard form, and I was able to take them to ordinary form. Having written in standard form for question 1 and written in ordinary form for question 2. To close this topic, we're going to move on to application of standard form. With just a question, and we'll see how it should be run. And with that, we'll call it a day. Examination question, whether WAEC or JAM or junior secondary school, sometimes this is what I call application of standard form, SF, standard form. Examination question will tell you simplify. Simplify without using tables or calculator. The question will 96, leaving your answer in standard form. Let's just take this one question. The square root of 2.5 times 10 raised to the power of 6 all over 3.6 times 10 raised to the power of minus 2. You are given a question like this in examination, whether WAEC, junior WAEC, or senior WAEC, NECO exam, whichever exam, and you are expected to solve this without table or calculator, and you are expected to leave your answer in standard form, which is the application of standard form. Very simple. Without wasting much of our time, we say 2.5 divided by 3.6 times 10 raised to the power 6 divided by 10 raised to the power minus 2. Remember, this is square root. Because the square root, it will be raised to power half. If here was 3, which is cube root, it will be raised to the power of 1 over 3. If it is fourth root, it will be raised to power 1 over 4. To solve this, some other time in examination, if you look at this one, this is 1 decimal, this is 1 decimal. If it is 1 decimal, for 1 decimal to clear the point, multiply by 10. 2.5 times 10 is 25. Whatsoever you do to numerator, do likewise to denominator. There are times in examination, the numerator will be 1 decimal. The denominator will be 2 decimal places. It is that highest decimal place that will determine what to do. If it is 2 decimal places, you multiply both numerator and denominator by 100, so that none, either in the numerator or denominator, will still have point attached to it. So, in this case, this one is just 1 decimal point. I'm going to multiply both numerator, capital N, and denominator by 10. Multiply 2.5 by 10 is going to give us 25. 3.6 by 10 is 36. This other one, our knowledge of indices, it will be 6 minus 2. All still raised to the power of half. Here is still 25 over 36. Solving this very well, minus times minus is plus. It will be 10 raised to the power of 8. Because minus is plus, all still raised to the power of what? Half. Everything in this bracket now, we're looking for the square root. Without wasting much of our time, 25. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36, whether with calculator or without calculator, we know is 6. Square root of this one, because this 8 is a power, law of indices, 8 times half will give us 4. And that will be 10 raised to the power of 4. You are left with 5 over 6 times 10 raised to the power of 4. All we need to do now is to divide. 5 divided by 6, that will give us 0 points. Because 6 in 5 is impossible, you write 0, you put point into 50, it will be 8, which is 48. Remaining 2 into 20, we'll keep on having 3. So I have to stop here. 10 raised to the power 4. If you look at this question, 0.83 times 10 raised to the power 4 is not yet in standard form. You will agree with me that 0.83 is not in standard form. Remember the rule that B must not be less than 1. And that B must not be up to 10. Therefore, we have no choice than to write 0.83 in standard form. Writing 0.83 in standard form, knowing fully well that 0.83 is less than 1, is going to be 8.3 times 10 raised to the power of minus 1 times 10 raised to the power 4 that was there before. Our final answer will now be 8.3 times 10 raised to the power of 3. And this is the final answer to this question. And that is how to solve without using tables and leaving our answer in standard form. Without much ado, more of this topic is in Teach Yourself Mathematics for senior student, Teach Yourself Junior Mathematics for the junior student. You can find standard form in it and read more and ask questions. In the comment section, you can take your time, ask questions, call me for any assistance, whether for extra classes or you want to buy copies of our textbook, Teach Yourself Mathematics for the senior student, SS1 and above, Teach Yourself Junior Mathematics for those in GSS 1 to 3. God bless you as you get copies for yourself, for your words, and I still remain Author Saint Vincent, the author of Mathematics, Accounting, and Finance textbook. God bless you as you keep on buying and patronizing us. We'll see you again when the need arises. God bless you.